Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Turbo and welcome to a special edition Turbo haul video. Don't usually do haul videos, I do buy stuff. Sometimes I buy a lot of stuff, but I've never been like a big fan of the haul video, hey look at what I bought. But today I went to the world famous Mile High Comic store here in Denver, and they had a auction, excuse me, it's not annual, they do it a couple times a year. I think they're doing one again at Christmas, and they do one when Denver Comic Con's in town. But it's a charity auction. One of the proceeds actually went to a like an LGBTQ homeless foundation, and I think there was one other foundation too. But the owner of the store is pretty well off, and he's very active in the community. It's funny, he talked about when he was younger, he was more into making money, and as he gets older, he realizes it's important to give back. So that was a big part of the auction. Made you feel good, you know, that the stuff you were buying was going to go, money was going to go to a good cause. I think he donated all of it. Maybe. I know they had some that was donated just for the cause, for one cause, and then they had some that the store put up, and I think some money went to another. I don't remember all the details, but anyway, he said there was at least a couple $1,000s that they raised that was going to these charities, and that's a good thing. So I went there, intending mostly to buy comics. They published a lot of what was going to be on auction, but not everything. They had lots, the store lots they published, and so I did a little research and I decided some comics I wanted and that I was going to go and try to win on auction. They have kind of a weird format where they put a lot of things. It'll be like, they had like 8 comics, then maybe a few toys, every once in a while there'd be a t-shirt or something, and then people would bid on the lot. So the high bid for the lot would get to choose from the items first, and they could buy as many of the items from the lot as they wanted to for the winning bid, and then they would let other people choose items from the lot for the winning bid. So it was interesting, they'd put, you know, the high dollar comics together, but sometimes you'd have a really high dollar comic with some other not as high dollar comics, and so the bidding went up really high, and some really nice comics didn't get bought because they just went too high for that lot. But anyway, I tried to, there's 2 ways, you know, I go about collecting comics. One is the super classic issues. They don't make those anymore. There's only so many in the world, you know, and so the values, it's like real estate, kind of. Can't live in your comics. But, you know, it's similar. They're not reprinting these old Avengers comics and stuff like that. So that's where the good value comes from. And then still, the newer comics, it's fun to get. But the variant covers kind of is where the collectability and the value is. So I tried to pick out some variant covers that I could get for a good price. So before I get to the comics, I bought a few toys too, but before I get to the toys, I bought one thing that I did not expect to buy. I had no idea it was going to be there, but it popped up. It was about the right price, and I think it's going to look really good with my William Shatner autographs. And it is this really awesome, hopefully I can do it justice in the light, engraved laser disc from Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Your father called the future the undiscovered country, which I think is from a Shakespeare play. I don't remember that line. I do remember the line from Star Trek, but I got a pretty good deal on this, and it's cool. It's number 214 out of 5,000, so it's a limited edition, and it was made in 91, I think, back when the movie came out. So yeah, 1991. Excuse me. It says here on the thing. So that was very cool. All right. Like I said, I did not go there expecting to get that. Again, the bidding just, it turned out right, and that was the right price. I got it for about $45. They had it priced to $150 in the store, and it's going to look really cool on the wall. But let's get into some of the vintage comics, because this is where I got some really, really cool stuff. Some of them I spent a few bucks on, but like some were, like I said, very classic comics. So I'm going to start off, not with that one. I'm going to start off with kind of an odd one. This is Logan's Run 6 by Marvel Comics. Came out in June, I think in '84, back in the '80s. But this is Thanos' first solo adventure in a comic here in this Logan's Run. I haven't read it before. I'm excited to read it, but we all know Thanos is going to be the new big baddie in Infinity War. And, I mean, even if he wasn't, he's already one of my favorite characters of all time. The Infinity Gauntlet was one of the first crossovers that I really got into. I think it was one of the first great crossovers, which probably led us down this path of terrible crossovers, and just way too many that we have now. But that's a story for another day. I also got this very near mint copy. It's a beautiful copy of X-Men 201, Who Will Lead Them? This is when, you know, Storm and Cyclops, obviously, from the cover, are fighting over who's going to lead the new X-Men. The new team came in giant-sized X-Men, I think, before this, and so it should be a very dramatic issue. I believe it's Chris, I think that's a Chris Claremont X-Men. He wrote the Uncanny X-Men for about 10 years. Had some incredible stories, so I'm looking forward to reading that. I also got an older Valiant comic. This is from the first run of the Valiant Company, I guess. Valiant Comics in the early 90s when I was first collecting comics, and Magnus Robot Fighter, #1, was a comic that I could never afford when I was a kid, and I was jealous. I believe my friend Wade had a copy of it. Yeah, so I got a pretty good deal on that. I didn't get a great deal on that. I probably paid close to value. You can find it for that much on eBay. But I wanted, and like I said, I can find it for that much on eBay, so I have to go out and find it, order it. It was nice that I could get it here, and so it wasn't a steal, but it was a decent deal. Now we've got some really cool comics, some old stuff here. This is Strange Tales #101. It's 12 cents on the cover. Not sure exactly what year it's from, but it is the first of a long string of Human Torch stories in Strange Tales. This being the robotic android Human Torch, not the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. There's a different Human Torch in the Marvel Universe, which, doesn't confuse things at all. But so that's actually a really nice book. If you can find a mint copy of this book or a near mint copy, it goes for $2,000 to $3,000. This is a nice copy for being that old. It definitely has some spine wear, but it's pretty nice. And I probably paid about 30% of their sticker price. So this was the most expensive comic I got. I'm not going to read it out loud. The sticker's on there if you can read it. It's a little embarrassing how much I paid for it, but it's a really awesome comic. It was a good deal, and I'm excited to have it. And moving on, this one I stole. I can't believe it. So again, the way they do the lots is people bid, and so I think 2 or 3 people picked before I picked, and this was still available. And this is Rip Hunter Time Master #3. This is a 10-cent comic. So I don't know exactly what year it's from. You can look it up. Maybe I'll put it in the edited video. But Rip Hunter is a character, or was a character at least in the first season of Legends of Tomorrow on the CW. And I like that show. I like that character. And when I saw this, such a cool old comic at the right price, I snagged it. I did spend a little more. Well, yeah, a little bit. I almost stayed within my budget. I had 2 budgets. I'm like, I could spend this. Things are going great. I could spend this. And I spent a little more than that because, like I said, there was some really cool stuff. This is Aquaman. I think this is Aquaman #4, and this is in stellar shape for such an old comic. It's a 12-cent comic, also Aquaman #4, and so I got that. Yeah. Super cool there. And now, I think these are my 2 favorite purchases. I don't know, this is a weird place to put them, but it is the end of my classic haul. And I got 2 Avengers books. This one is a tore-up copy of Avengers #7. Yes. And it was $25. They had a sticker on $125. So if you were to buy it in the store there, that's how much it would have cost you. That's not bad. It is, like I said, it's tore up. It's not a great copy. It's fair. Fair is, I don't know if they have bad. Fair is one of the worst grades, which is funny because fair doesn't sound like a bad grade. But now I got a pretty good copy, very good it says, of Avengers #10. And this is the first appearance of Immortus, who I believe is Nathaniel Richards. He's a version of Kang the Conqueror from the future. So I think that was the big score. That was one of the ones going in I really wanted. There was a Batman I really wanted with a special Ethan Van Sciver, Batman #1 from the New 52 with an Ethan Van Sciver cover. But it was in a hugely expensive lot, and I would have had to pay, I think, well over the value. And so we'll see if I can find it online or something. I have this awesome Ethan Van Sciver sketch of Batman, and so I kind of wanted to pair it up. Anyway, we're going to move on to the modern comics with variant covers. Alright, rolling on with the haul video again and try to get through these a little faster. I think if you watch my channel, you know I love Thor. So I tried to snatch up as many of the Thor variant covers as I could. This is from the Thors series, which was part of the Secret Wars crossover with Jane Foster Thor on the cover. I love that. I really like what they're doing with Jane Foster Thor, and I've actually been collecting not everything I can get my hands on of her, but quite a bit. I really like that. And Thor, you know, I'm into anyway. So, let's put this on the back. So it's my favorite. You have this variant cover from Thor: God of Thunder number 25, which was the last of this particular run of Thor. This was the one with the God Bomb, and right before he lost Mjolnir. Written by Jason Aaron. And again, I love what Jason Aaron's been doing with Thor. It's probably my favorite writer right now. This is a Mighty Thor. No, sorry, the Unworthy Thor number 4. After he's lost Mjolnir, and he's using Jarnbjorn, his axe, to slay fools. And I believe in this issue, he's racing Thanos to get to the Thor's hammer of the Ultimate Thor, which now exists in the normal universe because of stuff. Yeah, and this is my favorite. Groot Thor. I am Thor. I am Thor. I am Thor. I am Thor. Or I'm Gror. Is he Gror? Is he Groot? I don't know. But that's cool. And in this Thor's series, which again was part of the Secret Wars crossover, they had all different Thors from all different walks of life and all this stuff. And so Groot was one of them. They had Groot Thor, and that was cool. He was of course the coolest version of the usual. Okay, moving on here. We got I just kind of sorted these out. These are other Marvel superhero titles I got. This is a all new, all different Avengers. It's not number 1. It's not number 1, but this is a variant cover. Just a sec. Here, look it up. I'll put a little banner while we're doing this. And so I got a pretty good deal on that. And so I picked that up. All new, all different Avengers. It's been a fun story. I've kind of been following it on my app. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm going back. This is fun. This is Rocket. Okay, it's Rocket Raccoon number 3. The dead don't forage. Of course they don't. They're dead. The Rocket Raccoon has his own ongoing series right now. The Guardians and the comics kind of split up for a while. Spoiler alert, but they'll get back together. You know, comics coming down. They don't reflect what's going on in the movies, so it's not really a spoiler alert. But the Rocket has been fun. He's stranded on Earth. He doesn't like it here. He's grouchy, and it's a fun read. I kind of picked up this Defenders just because it's Defenders number 1, the newer Defenders, reflecting the Netflix Defenders group, and it was a variant cover, and I love the Luke Cage on this. It's big and beastly. And then, okay, these two, I like both of these two a lot. One is, I wish this was number 1, but this is Infamous Iron Man number 2 with a nice variant cover. Infamous Iron Man is Tony Stark, has kind of disappeared from the comics, may or may not be dead, and a couple of people are trying to fill in as Iron Man, including Victor Von Doom. That's right, Dr. Doom is trying to be Iron Man, trying to turn over a new leaf. Apparently, who knows, you know, he could be setting people up for a big scam. But it's been fun. His mom's coming into the comics, and anyway, that's a fun storyline too. So, and I love that cover with the lightning and stuff. It's kind of Thor-esque, actually. Maybe that's why I like it. But this is very cool. And this reminds me of that weird heavy metal figure I got. But this is a Ultimates 2 number 100 variant cover, and it is part of Jack Kirby 100th year celebration. I guess I heard a while ago that Jack Kirby would have been 104 this year, and so I think he's probably 4 years old, and his 100th birthday they did probably a series of covers to honor him, and that's really cool. It's big, bold, Kirby-esque. You know, he invented Galactus. It's such a cool character. Rolling on, I got a couple of Star Wars comics. This is number 11. Yeah, this is Dr. Aphra number 11 with a Chewie and Stormtroopers variant cover, which is very cool. Dr. Aphra is a character in the Star Wars comics who, she's a space archaeologist, I think. Interesting concept. Cool character. And I think she was hired at one point by Darth Vader to help track down Luke. You know, before, like, Vader knows that Luke's his son, he's trying to figure this stuff out, and that's a big part of the storyline of the comics right now, which is cool. So this is number 1, I think, and this is Poe Dameron with a variant cover. I think Poe is and there's BB-8 on there too, big old BB-8, and is that Porkins? There might be Porkins on there. No, Porkins isn't in this. Sorry, he's in the old Star Wars. So I think Poe's a cool character. He's kind of this new scoundrel. Maybe he'll get the Millennium Falcon and kind of try to fill Han's shoes. Different shoes. Hopefully he fills them differently, but I'd be looking forward to that. Also, this is Star Wars Screaming Citadel #1, variant cover also. This cover has Luke and Dr. Aphra on it, so maybe they're teaming up for the Screaming Citadel thing. I don't know what that's about. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to read that. Maybe we'll talk about it. Okay, and I got some Valiant comics too. Not a lot, but you know, I'm a fan of Valiant. They're kind of a smaller, more independent publishing company, but they have some cool variant covers. And so Harbinger Renegades, this is #6, and I haven't read this Renegade series yet, so I'm going to find the other ones probably read it first. But this has a looks like a sketch design cover of one of the, I assume it's one of the antagonists. He looks pretty gnarly with kind of weird armor and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. That's for sure. We got Bloodshot Reborn #15 variant cover. And I think I missed it. I read some of the early Bloodshot Reborns, and then I kind of went into a lull where I didn't get comics. So I haven't read up to 15, but we'll find a way to get caught up, and then we'll be reading this as well. But I like the cover. He's very, looks like Vietnam. Maybe it's a Vietnam story. I don't know. Bloodshot's, I believe there's different versions of Bloodshot that have been around at different times. Rye in the year like 4000 is a Bloodshot. Apparently, the evolution of a Bloodshot. So, and I guess they're previous ones too. But we'll see what that's all about. And then we got 2 Divinity covers. Well, I don't have it up anymore, but I had that big Divinity print up for a while. This one's kind of weird. I like it. It's a little surreal, just big and cartoony. There's some people in the pool though that's strange. I don't know what's going on there. That's #0. So that's always fun to have a #0. And then this was #3 from Divinity 2, and I like the kind of propaganda-esque cover here. They got that going on. That's cool. All right, but that wraps it up for the comics, which is good. That's plenty of comics. I went there. I knew I was going to get quite a few. I think I got a few more than I expected to. I brought a little comics bag I have, and they didn't quite all fit, which is okay because I needed a box for this and the toys anyway. So here, stick around here, and we're going to get into the toys. And most of these are weird kind of vintage toys, and I got a great deal on most of them. I don't think I spent more than like $5 or $6 on most of them. So let's take a quick look. I was able to pick up a Star Wars Episode 1 Darth Maul figure, which is cool. I don't have any Darth Maul figures, and with all the new Star Wars figures coming out, you're not necessarily getting new Darth Mauls because he's an older character. So I appreciate I was able to pick that up for a pretty good deal. And then this Deathlock Marvel Superheroes is from the original Toy Biz line. It's not the original year. The first year I think was 1990 or 91, and this is from 1992. You can tell because his elbows bend. Some of the older ones, their elbows don't bend. But this is a cool vintage figure. He may stick around in the box. He may not. He's a really cool figure. They've got the details down right. And again, good deal on him. So. Okay, this one I kind of picked up on a whim. If he was more than $4, I probably wouldn't have gotten him. But it is a #1 action figure of William Riker from Star Trek The Next Generation. It's not bad looking. It's got some great accessories. It's way more than a $4 toy, that's for sure. And I kind of have a soft spot for some of the early Image stuff, and I was able to pick up this really fun Jim Lee Wildcats Zealot figure from, Wildcats and Image. The packaging's a little banged up. She might come out, but she's not very articulatable. Looks like her hips move and her shoulders move, and that might be it. She's got great accessories. That's okay. And getting into the ones I like a little more. This is a Toy Biz Uncanny X-Men Cyclops from 1993, and this package is a little banged up, but again, he's got the movable elbows. He seems to have some sort of backpack, rocket pack, laser light eyes. Okay, cool. It's a cerebral computer unit. That's interesting. I guess, there's always a trend, not always a trend, but there's often trends about giving toys interesting accessories just to make them more exciting even if they don't fit. So I think that's what that is. And this is really cool. This was $8. I have no idea what it goes for, but this is also made by Toy Biz, and it is a Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, famous covers. And I want to call it, this is from 1998, looks older than that. I want to call it a doll, because check it out. It's all fabric encased, and it's actually really cool. It's a cool figure. I'm glad I was able to pick that up. They had a Dark Phoenix like this too also, but it went for way too much. Okay, down to my last two things. These are my favorite toys, I think, that I picked up. And this is a Storm model kit from Toy Biz, also, old school. This is from 1996. I will probably open this and build it. This is level 2, so it's glued together. I don't know if you have to paint it at all. But you know I love putting together kits and stuff, so when I saw this there, this was definitely more than I really would have wanted to pay for it. It was in the $18 range, and yeah, it was 18, which I'm sure it's worth more than that technically, but it's just so cool. And last but not least, this was a cool toy, and I feel like I got it for a steal. I don't think people knew what it was. You know, we were kind of sitting far away from where the lots were. If you didn't do your research ahead of time, you might not have known that there was an Escape from LA Snake Plissken freaking action figure, man. This is so cool. Made by McFarlane Toys. This is Movie Maniacs version 3. Oh man, some of the other... Edward Scissorhands is awesome too. I may have to try to find one of those. But yeah, this is freaking awesome. Snake Plissken, Escape from LA, Escape from New York, you know, kind of cheesy movies, almost B-action movies. John Carpenter, of course, has a special way about him, but when he works with Kurt Russell, they make magic, and Kurt Russell's such a badass as Snake Plissken, and I'm so excited to have this. So, yeah, that was the haul from the auction. Like I said, I spent a little more than I maybe wanted to, but I'm excited about the stuff I got. I think that's obvious. Some really, really awesome comics, some key issues, real, you know, kind of investment pieces. And that's kind of what I'm looking for these days. I know I got a lot of variant covers. I don't really think those are investment pieces. Those are some I'm going to read, probably try to hawk on eBay. But, you know, the classic Avengers, those classic DC comics, those are things to hold on to. So, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope the haul wasn't too gratuitous. And maybe we'll do another one of these days. You know, like I said, I'm not too into haul video, but if I get something really cool and special, I will show it off to you guys. Because that's what collecting's all about, right? Showing it off, making people jealous. Anyway, this is some cool stuff. Thank you for joining me. And come on back. We're going to be doing some unboxings. So speaking about that, I actually pitched my channel to a couple people there. Hopefully they tune in. A couple people bought Loot Crate shirts there from the auctions. I'm like, hey, those came in Loot Crate. Oh, what's Loot Crate? Oh, you should check out my channel. So maybe if you are checking me out, welcome. And welcome all my other new viewers. If you like what you see, subscribe. Please subscribe. I'm trying to build my subscribers up a little bit. We're going to be doing a giveaway for that in a little bit here. I'll have a special video for that. And yeah, we'll keep on rolling. And until then, be excellent to each other.
As I walked out of the